We're live.
All right.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Looking Forward with Jess Heisel and the Chasing Liberty with Jacob Van Plas. Um, it's an independent and it's libertarian getting together to have a conversation. So we've been doing it on the GCD network for months now, at least since
Yeah.
November, I think, last year. Had to have been. So yeah, we're switching over to try something new here, and we are currently live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and maybe YouTube if this all goes well. So we'll see how this works. And my mixer board didn't work, so we can't do phone call-ins, but maybe next time. I know.
We're still working out the details and the technical issues, but you know what? We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
And as we go, on Facebook and on YouTube, if you want to type into the chats, they should come up here, and we should be able to see them on our streams. And we can bring them up live and show people's chats too. So
that was awesome.
So yes, I'm Jess Heisel. I'm an independent, just going out there and trying to make a difference. And go for it, Jake.
And I am Jacob Vanaplas, chairman of the Libertarian Party of the state of Wisconsin and Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District candidate. Coming up November 8th, 2022, we're going to make some waves.
Amen. Speaking of November 2022, Jess Heisel he's going to step down from the independent role for a while and help out other people, including yourself over there. And I played. It was fun. I met a lot of amazing people, and it comes down to money and time. And I'm going to redirect my time and my resources in other areas. And
tell you what, after coming off of last weekend, I'm excited.
What was last weekend?
Last weekend, the LPWI had our state convention. Awesome group of people, a tremendous. I tell you what, Nathan all put this together, organized this, and he did not one detail. And I tell you, it was absolutely incredible. Seeing everybody, getting everybody together. This was my first time chairing a state convention. Little nervous at first. Don't get me wrong. I was definitely a little bit nervous, but everything went smooth. And hey, we got the Mohican Libertarian on with us. How we doing, buddy? He was there as well.
Yes, he was.
I'll tell you what, one of the most promising things was Sunday's XCOM meeting. Everyone left there energized, excited to go, with organization, with details, and we're still working and improving on it. The big thing that I want to accomplish is how we communicate as a party. If we can get that ironed out, once we get that running smooth, we can start communicating effectively out to the masses, and that's where it's going to count. And I'm super, super, super excited. We've got a brand new us called me already today to get pieces together about the convention. We're making her forward. We're driving forward right out of the bat, day one, past the convention, and I'm very, very excited.
So I may have been there as well. I did the full 3 days. Independent. They were welcomed me in. They had me in there. They let me sit through all their stuff. One of the best things that I liked about going to it is there was an after party at the suite. Yeah, there was some drinking. But when I looked around that room, there was already, I think, 3 previous governor candidates in that room, 8 people that have ran for Congress and Senate, numerous people that have ran for county and school board positions. The experience in that room was amazing. And just hearing the insights and talking to people, if you ever want to get some information, they'd love to talk about it. They love to share ideas and how to get that stuff out there. I learned a lot. It was awesome.
It's sharing their experience. And and we've had a multitude of people bring up they want to do more, and we should love to get together more. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be big and expensive and fancy. I really, really would think it would be a fun time to do a winter gala. I know I keep coming back to that. No one said no to it yet. So, just think about it. We all get dressed on fancy. We have a dinner, and then we do a little dancing afterwards and just kind of hang out and be together. Libertarians get energized when we get to spend time together. We can brainstorm. There's a whole lot more that you can do.
As long as you have a silent auction, I'll be there. You can't have a gala without a silent auction. Those are
We
fun.
can put together a silent auction. That's for
There
certain.
you go. Yeah. If I could say anything to anybody out there looking to go out and look for candidates, do me one favor. If you talk to a candidate and they say, yeah, I want to talk to the people and learn stuff, question about that. Because what I've learned is there's thousands of organizations across Wisconsin that know the answers, that are screaming the answers to be heard, and they're not being heard. So I think some of these people that are saying, going out there and, well, I'm going to talk to the people and find out what they want, horse crap. Those organizations are already out there. Find them, talk to them. They have the answers. And the biggest one that I found is I wrote down some of the water ones here in Wisconsin. So there's the Clean Water Committee that they already have. There's a task force for water quality. This is the recent ones. They just created the Office of Environmental Justice, which is another, obviously, for environment. In 2019 was the year of clean drinking water. And we've been submitting water reports to Congress for years, for decades. They know it. They know what the problem is. Oh yeah, I found the reports that went back to the early 2000s that we have been doing this. Some of them from the late 1990s. Every single one of those water reports had the same thing: PFAS, nitrates, and bacteria. We know the problems. They know the problems, and they know how to fix them, but they don't. And you question why? PFAS, follow the money. Why are they going to make the organizations clean up their PFAS when those are the ones donating to their campaigns? The nitrates and bacteria. I'm sorry, it's the bigger farms. It's not the smaller farms. It was the bigger farms that are creating issues. I had some.
The big farms keep getting bigger, and the small farms keep getting smaller. I can tell you, as a farmer, it's not easy to get kicked off. To build a farm from scratch, to get the equipment, takes you almost an entire generation to just get established.
Yeah.
I'm working a full-time job plus trying to farm it's an ass kicker.
And,
really got a request
and running
for
for
Jeff to join and running for the 8th Congress. But with that, I've got such great teams of people in the LTWI. I can't say enough.
Yeah. It was great. So one of the things I want to start doing for the
our comment section is on fire tonight.
Oh, is this? So I'm showing some of these as we go. Oh wait, there it is. He had to take the hat off a little bit earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to start doing is Jake had come up with a great name, the WIN Network, Wisconsin Independent News Network. I love that name. And what I plan to do was start finding all the other candidates, not Republicans and not Democrats, and start to showcase them, get their names out, because that's one of the hardest things that I came across as running for governor. It was these are great, is getting the name out. Your radio stations, your TVs, everybody's not even paying attention to that crap. So it's time we start uniting and getting together. There's a lot of independents out there. There's a lot of libertarians out there. Green Party.
Believe it or not, I just left the Union Hall. So I was up at 3:30 this morning to get to work. So I mean, right after the convention. Right back at it, didn't miss a beat, came home, got cleaned up, had a fire in the front yard with the wife. 3:30 this morning, rushed home. I bet you I took a shower 2.5 minutes to be able to get to Weathermakers Union Hall here. One of them, and I was over 2 hours answering questions, which was awesome. Very engaged crowd, lots of great questions, and the people that didn't care about politics were there for a short amount of time, and the people that were there and asking really, really engaging questions. And we just drew in probably about 20 libertarians that are going to be voting, which is awesome. What out in my mind was where can we find more information about you, because no one watches the news, no one's reading newspapers, everyone is going to outside news sources right now. That was the general consensus within that entire room, which was way more than I anticipated. I mean, I knew people were generally moving that direction anyways, but not at that level, which was really heartwarming to see, because the propaganda that gets sold to your news networks is relatively incredible. So we have an opportunity here And
It yeah. If you watch they had that White House convention this last weekend, right?
yeah,
If you get a chance, watch the YouTube of the comedian before it. It was hilarious, by the way. Um, he was funny. But after that convention, they all went back. Your big media players, they all went back and they went to they went with the CIA, head of the CIA. Oh man, all a bunch, about eight senators, I think it was, a bunch of media sources, all went back to the same party, Steve Jobs' wife's house, and that's where they partied. They all partied together, so they're obviously coming together. They know they are.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we call them, Republicrats. They really, really are.
Yep.
And the people are seeing it. And union halls are typically have voted Democrat in the past, and most of them that were there tonight were right. And everybody is tired of the current status quo and what is happening. No one feels the country is on the right path, and here we are. And I was actually asked on several occasions, how can one libertarian in Congress make a difference? The fact that I exist sends a message to both the major parties to get their crap together. It really does. The mere fact that we exist and we are we are growing too. I am so fired up. I am so fired up after this convention.
We're going to get you a good internet connection. Hey, you were just talking about the unity and people breaking up, and I just found this on the news today. Tony Evers, a new 2022 political ad. He's looking to start bringing people together. Okay, he's just announced this. He's coming up with a $3.5 million TV ad campaign. Cool. All right, he's gonna campaign, right? And he's saying, hey, I've worked with Democrats and Republicans to pass the $2 billion income tax credit. It's like, wait a minute. He had that Badger bounce back. Remember that? He wanted to increase taxes by $1 billion. And then when the Republicans came out with the $2 billion tax credit, he took credit for it. He's like, oh, that was on my campaign. And he specifically says in there, folks, there's too much division in politics today. That's why I'm focusing on bringing people together to get the results that matter.
Never going to happen.
There's been 3 years of just lame duck.
Yeah. If Republicans and Democrats could unite this country, end of story. And there's not much more to debate after that. You can't come up here with a platform of unity when you should have started with that years ago.
Yeah.
If you had the ambition to unify the state or to unify the country at the federal level, you would have. You haven't. People caught on to the lies. They really have. That's really exciting for us. I'm having a great time. Between the chairman, running for campaign, I am having the time of my life, telling people about liberty and how it's just the path that the country needs to be on. Yeah. It has been awesome. I'm excited.
I've seen it at that convention too, because Saturday's a free day where people can go to the Libertarian Convention and just sit for free and just watch, see how things are done, talk to people. And there's people showing up for that. And it was amazing.
We doubled our numbers. So normally people will buy a ticket and they say for Friday and all they said for the free part. Then also Sunday for with the brunch and stuff like that. But this year we doubled the numbers from last year for the people that attended just the free business meeting, just a portion for the business. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to keep that room lively for that long dealing with the business meeting. It really is. And I hope I did a good job. I tried telling some jokes. Nobody laughed at the first one, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not my primary source of income, so that's but well, the second joke did go off a little better than the first one.
The second one was better. But you're a dad. You're going to come up with dad jokes, of course, right?
I got a whole book of them.
You got a whole book of dad jokes. You betcha.
I should vote too. Yeah. This is the best comment thread I've ever had. Actually, it's the first comment thread I've ever had.
Yeah, Neil will keep us informed. Hey, speaking of, before I do breaking news, how about a fun breaking news?
Yeah, hit me
So
with it.
after the Libertarian Convention ended on Wednesday, Jacob Vanden Plas and Neil Harmon said, I want to go over to the Democratic convention over in Appleton and talk to them. Breaking news: Jake and Neil get escorted from a Democratic convention in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yes, we did. So
It
now,
was,
here's what's heartbreaking. Okay, so I got invited to go to the Democrats' Winter Gala last December, and I had the opportunity to talk with the Brown County chairman, Renee Gingrich, I believe, if I remember her name is right. Renee was awesome. Okay, I sat and I talked with Renee for a few minutes. She goes, "There's some stuff that we agree on. There's some stuff we disagree on. Let's work together on the stuff that we agree on. The stuff we disagree on, we'll debate and let the people decide." I was like, you know what? That was cool. I can respect that. That was awesome. And I told everybody about that. I went through to all these Republican camps afterwards. I was like, you know what? You guys tell me to piss off. The Democrats are willing to work with me on the stuff we agree on. And the stuff we disagree on, let the people decide. I was like, there was hope. There was hope. Fast forward 5 months, and we show up at the 8th Congressional District Caucus for the Democrats, which had about as many people at as we had at our 8th Congressional District table at the state convention. Not the numbers I was anticipating for the Democratic Party. It was bleak, really bleak.
there wasn't that many people there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that was not a very impressive show. But we were in less than 2 minutes. We weren't in there for 2 minutes. I was actually having a conversation with Representative Shaw. She had just introduced me to Representative Snodgrass, and I didn't even get to even finish saying hello before I had some old lady poking me in the chest going, "Who is this?" No, who is this? What? Chairman of the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin. All of you out now. Okay. Hey,
yeah.
We got some more joining us, Mr. Burnham.
We, as an independent there at the door, they actually didn't even want to let me in. And after I talked to him, and I was nice about it. I was like, I just wanted to come in and just talk to some people and have some conversations. And I had gotten there only a minute or two before you guys. And I just happened to walk by the booth and I checked out, who else was running and looked at, their silent auction stuff that they had there. And then by the time you guys came in, that was it. And I said, I didn't want to be any part of this. I was very disappointed on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any part of it either, but that's fine. That's so I can now officially say I walked in with an olive branch, willing to work with you, truly willing to work with you, and you gave me the big middle finger, and that's fine. Yep. That is absolutely fine. So if you want to talk about unity, I call BS, because we made the effort for unity. You said no.
Yep. Now, there may be some other districts that are different. Absolutely. But that particular one up there in District 8 in Appleton, I didn't see it that day. I was there, saw the whole thing. Yep. All right. So on our GCD show, we used to do all kinds of breaking news.
Yeah, those are fun.
Should we keep at it? Well, good, because I already did a bunch of homework.
All right, good. Let's go for it.
It really works out.
Give it to me, buddy.
All right. Breaking news. All right. Let's start with this one first. There's a new $33 billion Ukraine package going in for approval right now. It's going to go until September. That's what it's estimated for. They're looking at $20 billion in weapons, $8.5 billion in economic support, and about $2.5 billion in humanitarian aid. Chuck Schumer comes out and he says, hey, we're going to pay for this. How are we going to pay for it? We are going to be seizing assets of Russian oligarchs and send all the proceeds to Kiev. Number one, I don't think we have the authority to do that. Not in America, no. But they're looking at properties and yachts, and currently they have about $1 billion that they've confiscated already.
In yachts?
That's what it's estimated in the article that I read. They said they had 1 billion, probably in property as well. So they're looking at trying to target people in Putin's circle, of course. Yeah. So one thing that I'm a little disappointed about is, where is the diplomacy in this? So can we start, maybe trying to work towards that? I see $20 billion in arms and weapons. Can we shift some of that over to diplomacy and maybe a little into humanitarian aid? I think that's what I would ask for.
So I was listening to this podcast called the Young Turks. They are the progressive podcast. So if you had the chance to listen to them, but they bring up valid points. They said this Ukraine package. Okay, so they said, all right, let me back this up. It goes the Build Back Better. Was it 1.6 trillion spread across 10 years or something like that, which breaks down to a certain amount annually. The amount that we are sending over to Ukraine, or they want to, is just a couple $1 billion shy of what it would have cost for Joe Biden's Build Back Better package. And the lefts are going, why is it we can always find money for foreign wars and for the military-industrial complex, but every single time we propose something to help Americans, there's no money and they don't want to spend it. They have a valid argument, but the answer is we shouldn't be spending money on any of it. Knock it off. We're $30 trillion in.
I want to look this. I want to look it up yet, but I want to say Ukraine is the fourth most country we've ever given money to. Of course, Iraq and Afghanistan. I want to look that up. I heard that, and I'll check it out by the end of this. But one thing, Nancy Pelosi just went over to Kiev. What if something happened to her? Yes.
Hold on.
Or anybody else. Could have that been seen as an act of war? I guess a bomb went off pretty close in Kiev, or a rocket, about an hour after they had left. So if something would have happened to any delegates over there, that's a big act.
Then we would be forced to go in.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yep.
The United States, if Nancy Pelosi got hit by a rogue bomb or by anything, there would be retaliation, and we would be in a full-fledged war with Russia. It's almost like they're trying to get something to happen.
I think they're kind of teasing them a little bit.
They're most certainly teasing them.
Let me read you one more off of that I found out about this. Okay, so we know the pipelines go through Ukraine from Russia. Cool. So everybody's boycotting Russian oil and stuff, right?
And now gas is going to the roof, yeah.
Cool. Here's something that I read in this article. Russian gas deliveries through Ukraine hit a 5-month high, according to Reuters. Okay? It's still going through Ukraine. So if they're at war with Ukraine, but they're still pumping oil through it, and reading into it more, Ukraine collects money from Russia through the Brotherhood pipeline. There's a couple different, I think there's 3 or 4 different pipelines I was reading about. Yeah. So there's this much boycotting going on of Russian oil, but yet it's still running through the country that they're invading and killing people from. They're bombing their citizens and hospitals and all this other stuff, but yet their oil can still pass through there?
They're very careful not to accidentally bomb their own pipeline, though.
Right. Yes. Yep.
It always leads back to money, some way, shape, or form.
Yep. Exactly. I want to find out what the most countries that we donate to. I'm going to keep looking that up.
It's definitely not America. That I can promise.
No. I got it typed in. I look through the search. Ooh, let me give you another breaking news.
All right.
Yes. Breaking news. Former North Miami candidate are among 3 that are arrested for embezzling $640,000 in a grant in a fraud probe. So turns out what they were doing is they were using the grant award process that they had down there in the commissioner's office, and the little prestige from it, and they were giving out grants where they wanted to and with their investments. I know. My question is, how much do you think this really happens?
A lot. So grants in general. Grants are the way the government picks winners and losers. Okay, we can't do that. If the government has enough money to give to businesses in grants, they've taken too much from us. Okay, maybe these businesses wouldn't need grants if they weren't being robbed from so much of their money. The people decide how to spend their own money. I know it's a novel thought to a lot of people. Let me back that up. People know it's a novel thought to a lot of congressional members or politicians that they can't just spend everybody else's money. Leave people alone. That was awesome. When I went to the Union Hall meeting today, and I said, we believe as libertarians that you know best on how to spend, we know best on how you can live your own life, and we believe that you know how to spend your money better than the government. They're like, yeah, all right, we're kind of liking you, and it's true. They're like, because then we got on the topic of immigration and the problem on the southern border, and I kind of explained to this. It's not just a switch need to be fixed in order to fix this problem here on our border. One of which would be the welfare state. And then essentially have an Ellis Island type situation where you come here, we get your information, and then here we go, you get out into society. And they're like, well, how are we going to prevent them from being homeless? How are we going to get them kicked off? I was like, how did we do it before the government? Okay. I mean, that all existed before the government stepped in and made things more difficult. I hear a lot of those on the right say, just come in through the front door. Well, the front door is locked, chained, and barricaded. Okay. Let's open up the front door. Okay. Come through the front door. Let's get you set up. Let's get you where you need to be. Okay. But how do we do this safely? And how do we make sure that people get to where there are jobs available? Okay. There's a way to do this and a discussion to be had. The issue is we continue to fight over two options, the red option or the blue option, the wall or wide open with nothing whatsoever. And neither one is the proper answer. And no one wants to sit down and actually solve it.
Right now, I just
want like a tool that's being used to badger the country. Yeah, free trade.
Now, I just want transparency.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be wonderful?
That would be nice. Hey, I just found
any of the members in the audience. Do you guys have any questions of us? We can do that.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, I just found the aids. So Afghanistan, we've given 4.89 billion. Israel, we've given 3.3 billion. And as of since the start of the Biden administration, we've given Ukraine 2 billion. So that puts them at 3 according to these tables. And that's obviously going to get a lot higher. So it's an amazing how we can spend how many years in Afghanistan? 20
years.
Yeah, we spent $4.89 billion. And since the Biden administration, Ukraine's received $2 billion. So I find that interesting. Yeah.
I find it heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's another one too. I want to save that one. Let's see. It's hard to do all this stuff because I got to flip back and forth between documents to bring up breaking news. This is awesome.
Okay.
Feds, they're going to be raising the rate on interest rates probably on Wednesday. So here, let's ask one thing of the viewers here really quick.
We do have a question here in the comments. It said, did you all hear about the John Deere tractors the Russians stole?
Oh, this is going to be hard to communicate on. I'll Google that.
See, the Ukrainians told the Russians were stealing John Deere's?
Yeah. I remember the tank ones because they were getting paid for that. They were getting paid for their tanks. Yeah. So here, before we get into the federal ones, what are most people interested in? Supply chain, labor shortage, or inflation? That one, I think, is, I don't know. They're probably all kind of interlocked, right?
They all go hand in hand together.
Yeah.
No, but I did not hear about the John Deere tractors being stolen.
I'll Google that here a second. With the supply chain, of course, we got the rising cases in China right now. I started looking at right now in lockdowns, there's Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. And Shenzhen is like a huge manufacturing hub for China. So you can bet that with more lockdowns, what happened in the last time they had lockdowns? A lot of materials are made over there. So now we're going to have a more material shortage. But what were they able to do after those material shortages? Raise their prices, right? So we went from paying, I remember I was at the UW working masks at the time trying to buy them. We used to pay 17 cents and then we started paying about $1.20 for them. So when they can raise their rates off of the shortages and get 10 times as much money, they'd have no problems in lockdowns, right? They can close their doors, save money on overhead, and start up a couple months later and make just as much. So yeah, they shut down and started mass testing procedures. Oh, I hope. Oh, I think Jake froze up again. I see where he went with that. When Jake comes back, he'll get the punchline on it. For the labor shortage, let's go to that one. He'll be back on in a second. For the labor shortage, we have companies are raising wages to get people in. This is happening right now. It's happening across pretty much all organizations where people are having to pay for more money. Very normal. But the problem that we're having is now, what are the businesses doing? They're going to be charging more for stuff. It's just increasing. So now you're getting inflation. So now your prices are increasing for the labor, your prices are increasing for the materials, so hence the inflation. But here's one, I want to save that. All right. And before I say that, I hope Jake gets back on for that. And they keep saying about these markets are crashing. Some of them are. Some of them are having difficulties, but some of them aren't. Some of them are making a lot of money during this whole endeavor as rates start shooting around. Here's one. Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has just increased their prices by 25%. So when they go up by 25%, yeah, people are expecting that with inflation, right? But yet, here's the thing. Their profits hit 269% between 2019 and 2021. So in 2 years, they were up 269%. And they said because of inflation, they had to raise their rates 25%. Little fishy. Here's another problem with that. While they're raising their rates, they also did a $1 billion stock buyback on their company off of the 25% increase. So are they going to use that 25% to help pay for those material goods that they're talking about? No. They're going to spend that for buybacks for their own stock. And this is Dollar Tree. So people talk about inflation. Some of these businesses have made a killing on this inflation. And as they raise their rates, they're just going to make more. They made profits the entire time, and now they're going to keep doing it. So with Jake being gone, I only had 2 more breaking news too. Oh, they're awesome. Maybe I'll redo it when Jake comes on, but let's see here for the next one. I got to break over to Chad's. AOC parks her Tesla illegally at Whole Foods. And I thought this was interesting because she's also the lady who went after Amazon and Jeff Bezos, right? Because of Whole Foods, and she was slamming them. She was been slamming Amazon and Jeff Bezos for years. And now she shops at Whole Foods. So she's kind of a little bit of a hypocrite there. So another one, she's also attacked Tesla and Elon Musk specifically, especially over at a town hall in 2018. She kind of went after them about some of their taxes that they're doing, and she owns a Tesla. And she's been railing against billionaires in their tax breaks all the time. So AOC and Elon Musk got a little love-hate relationship. Well, it's pretty much just hate on Twitter right now. And AOC suggested that AOC put onto Twitter that she will only, Elon Musk only bought Twitter because of Tucker Carlson and Philip Thiel. And he owns PayPal. Tucker Carlson's on Fox. And so Elon Musk replied, "Stop hitting on me. I'm really shy." And of course, she's going after him as a billionaire with an ego problem. But my whole thing as they go after each other like this, she's not following through, and she's still shopping at Whole Foods, which she obviously hates, but yet still supports them. She hates Elon Musk, but yet she still buys a Tesla and supports it. They have tax breaks for Teslas. I think it's $7,500 right now. They were trying to raise that to $12,500, and she was part of that. So while she hates him, she's also giving him a tax break at the same time. So, and I have a picture of the parking job. I had to find it. It took me a little bit. Oh, I'm going to have to dig it up. You'll have to give me 1 second. And let me share that on the screen. And this was her parking job. That was it. Parked outside line, just kept going past it. Hopped out, went to Whole Foods. There's a few other ones out there from the other side of the vehicle as well. So, yep, somebody saw her out and took a picture of it. So good for them. Good for that citizen. So I had other breaking news. Oh, only one more. I'll give you one more. This one I was hoping Jake was going to be here for. I'll probably have to do this one later because he has bees out there on his farm. And honeybees joined humans as the only known animal that can tell the difference between odd and even numbers. Yeah, I was hoping he would have known that one. I read a report, though, that spiders might be at the same time. That was it. That's all I had. For those of you that hung in there, thank you so much. This was just kind of a test trial run. Check all this stuff out. Oh, wait, we've got a link here. Here's the link for it. Thank you, everybody. Again, it was an absolute blast running for governor as an independent. Met some amazing people, some amazing friends. Had thousands of conversations all across Wisconsin. It was amazing. And I would do it all over again, hands down. And talk to the people and make sure you ask them about their solutions and their plans and how they're going to get it done. Don't let people just tell you that they're just going to do the work or talk to people and do whatever it needs to do. That's not going to happen. People have answers. Everybody has answers for things. Put those people together, get those answers. We're done. We have to make the change at some point. And you can watch these all you want, but you've got to get out there and help. There's just talk with the libertarians. There's a couple of them that need signatures. Reach out into your areas. If you don't have a libertarian on there, there's statewide candidates that you can also help get signatures for. When I stopped out, I was there a little bit early for the convention, and I didn't want to go into the casino and lose all my money, so I only blew a little bit. But I went out and I hit up yard sales, and I picked up some signatures for them while I was there. It's just walking up to people and saying, hey, would you like to sign this petition to be able to help this person get onto the ballot? That's all you got to do. So reach out. There's if you're in District 8, you just saw Jacob on here. For a statewide candidate, if you don't have anybody else, there's Neil Harmon. He's running for Secretary of State for them. And I plan on reaching out to other independents and libertarians and Green parties, anybody that's willing to make a change against this system. We've got to make it happen. So thanks, everybody. Y'all take care and appreciate you tuning in.